Today is a rough day. Some days some days are tougher than others when you're an empath. It's not some big spectacular thing, but it is a thing. And some days are rougher than others, I tell you. I'm exhausted.
I'm tired, boss.
My dynamic of empath is a little different, I think, because I'm also a Sagittarius.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Now, I'm not into, that big into astrology, but I do believe that I share many, if not all, of the traits that are said about Sagittarians, the good and the bad. And I fully own those and embrace those because being a Sagittarius is awesome. I don't give a damn what you say.
Damn!
But being an empathetic can just really be rough sometimes.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell!
So, we're the fire sign. We're about, I believe, empowerment of ourselves and taking control of our future and just being all that we can, being the best that we can be, being adventurous, being exploratory, trying things, all of that kind of stuff. Even to the point, anally so, and being in my Sagittarian ways has taken me to places in the world that I never thought I would go, and just places in life that I never thought I'd experience. So I love that. I'll never deny that power. Being an empath, when I do allow myself to feel, to see, to observe what's going on with others, to hear them, to try to coach them, to try to support them, or just listen, I tend to take on some of the emotion, maybe even trauma sometimes that they're going through because I care, about them, because I want to be supportive and I want to see them win and overcome. So that's that transportive energy that, I got to give up for those select few that I care about. And sometimes it's not necessarily somebody I'm close to. It just might be a moment where God has placed me in that person in that moment to share this energy. And I'm going to be a tool when called to be at any time and to part with that energy, to give of that energy, as required to do so by my Lord, whether I'm going to or not. But I tell you, sometimes this stuff is exhausting. And part of the good thing, I work remotely still. They haven't put me back into an office or yet, but that's coming. But I have thoroughly enjoyed that because I don't have to be around so many people and so many opportunities for energy transfer, good or bad, but sometimes bad. And I don't want to deal with that. So I have enjoyed working remotely to not necessarily have to be subjected to that. I didn't miss that when coming out of the world in terms of working from home and not have to be run into 50, 11 people throughout the day by whatever circumstance. But I'm saying all to say that even though I've been working from home working remotely, I'm still impacted. I still read, I still watch, news sources, and I still read uh, news articles and publishings and stuff, especially now you have to be informed and just you have to be strategic in finding the right sources that will inform you honestly and appropriately and with responsibility. And sometimes that's hard, but you get a few and then you find just to be educated and informed.
Put that on the news. Let Trump see it.
Here as of late, with everything that's going on in this country, even though none of that has happened to me personally, example, watching a family being torn apart because of immigration status checking or whatever. Seeing people suffering because of the loss of their job, of their income.
You go to work to help people. That's our job, to help people. That's all we do. We go in every single day. This is day 28. The last paycheck we got was for 7 days through the end of September. That's it. So we've been there every single day. We've been there every day. Who's thinking of us? We didn't hurt anybody. I promise you, we give our best.
For whatever reason. Usually it's to no fault of their own. And seeing and reading people's stories about how they're trying to figure out how they're going to eat, pay for where they live, feed their kids, get their kids to school, and just survive, And then just reading about people going through their funds trying to survive. And then reading and hearing about people losing support, which I know everybody doesn't agree with the whole SNAP and all of that. I'm not getting into that, but I still am not oblivious to what they're going through and what's happening to them, and the sudden adjustments that they have to make. I'm not blind to that, and I can't imagine the fear, the intense emotions and things that people in these categories are going through. So yes, I have to turn social media off so I don't see these things all the time. But I'm not a cyborg, and I need to be aware of what's going on to people around me because I care. My history of dealing with people as an empath is I'm usually drawn to people or maintain longer friendships or relationships with people who are not necessarily cyborgs, but they don't express or ooze a lot of emotions and things and need, emotional need themselves.
What's wrong with your eyes?
Nothing. And or they're oblivious to what's going on with their neighbor, with their fellow man. They're just really hyper focused on what they got going on, and that's okay. I mean, that's been good for me because I like to be around self-starters, ambitious people who are focused and are driven about their goals and dreams and what they want to do, because we all only get one life. So you should really be focused on making the most of that, whether that involves you and your family and friends or significant other, whomever, your children. Go do that, because time is ticking away and you only get this mortal being for for a short time. So I really am drawn to that energy, but I also I can't be around somebody who's just totally selfish and doesn't regard their human, their neighbor at all.
Why do you cry?
You mean people?
Yeah.
Doesn't. But usually I tend to have long-standing relationships with people who don't really it's not that they're cyborgs, like I said, but they don't really engage in what's going on with their fellow man. It doesn't mean that they're not giving people, because they have been giving people to me and in my life and in their other friends' lives and things. So the compassion is there, but it's not outwardly, it's not extended to everybody, to any stranger. My compassion is there. It's not off the brick and extended to any and every stranger, but I want to be conscious about what's going on with my neighbor because I care about what happens to you because eventually it's going to happen to me. But that's not the only reason I care. I just care in general because I don't like to see people struggling or hurting, especially if I'm able to, I know them and I'm able to help or offer a solution, or temporary aid because I ain't caring, yes. But just being an empath is taking its toll here as of late because there's so much going on, with everybody. And there's so many different variations. As a federal employee in this workforce of this 2+ million strong, I don't know any of those people. I probably know personally. Well, let's just say a 2+ million strong of the federal family. I might know 0.001% of those, but I feel for the other million, or million, you know what I'm saying, the other 2 million. I feel something for them, regardless of if they, knowing them or not, because I can relate to the time that they've put in, and the way that we're being treated, and those have been impacted much further worse than I mean, it hurts my heart. And I'm carrying this around each day. Even though I get up, I'm still employed. I still go to work, for as long as they're going to allow me. But I still carry around the pain of strangers. It's like it's not haunting, but it's just a feeling of knowing that somebody in another state, in another part of the country, is going, is going through something that's so unnecessary. And, anyway, as you can see, as I'm welling up, it's just the weight of that. And it's not just federal employees. It's all, like I said, also people who are being hunted in the street, who are being torn apart, families being torn apart over nothing. It's people who can't now, eat, who might not be able to eat or buy, a sandwich for themselves. A sandwich. I mean, and I don't know these people personally, but I feel their pain. I'm carrying it. And I know that I feel that I know that things are going to get worse. So the gift that I was given is discernment, one of the gifts of God. And that's been great. But just also knowing, that things are going to get worse, and knowing what the condition of these individuals is going to get worse before we even there. I mean, some people don't even know that it's coming. Some of the people who are impacted, to include myself, they don't even know it's coming. They don't even know what's coming, for them. And I can see, I can feel, and it's heavy. It's heavy. Just that feeling of being an empath, of the weight of everything that's going on to so many different people, not just my own personal situation. Because I'm fine today. I've got a meal tonight. I've got a place over my head tonight. I've got clothes on my back tonight. Me and my child are still together and not separated tonight. But some people are. And just the weight of me walking around with that, it's just really heavy. I try not to, and some people be like, well, just turn it off. You got to turn off social media. You got to turn off all of that and just be thankful for what you have. That gas in that car lasts for about maybe half a day, and it sounds good, but you can't, if you have any kind of heart, soul in your body, kind thought, regard for the human race in your body and your soul, then that gas in that car is not going to last long. that gas of, you know, the gas of praying away, because joy come in the morning, and joy does come in the morning. It does. She come in the morning. She come all day, every day in the morning. But you still have to go through the weeping, at the night, and watch other people weep. And it's like I can almost hear people weeping in this moment. If you listen, you can hear, just people weeping because of things, because of the misery on so many different dynamics that people are going through. And like I said, as an empath, it's just rough sometimes. And today, I woke up and it was just rough. How do you guys feel about empaths, or how do you feel about everything that's going on, and how are you dealing with processing your day-to-day here? Does it matter to you, or you're just targeted and focused on your goals and dreams for life, regardless of anything that's going on with other people who you don't know? I mean, it's just general questions. I'm curious as to how you process, because I might read some comments and help me figure out how I can process better, But yeah, some days are rough. Today was one of those days.